Do we all agree that the day after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday? Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for February 12th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
The Broncos are expected to hire Jim Leonhard, an ex-Bronco safety, to be a secondary coach who's following 7 seasons at the University of Wisconsin. I got a ton of text messages about this of people saying, this is a great hire. I love this hire. This is going to be great for the Broncos defense. He had 6 seasons as the Badgers defensive coordinator, and in those 6 seasons, he guided Wisconsin to a top 5 total defense, ranking 5 times. In 2021, Wisconsin not only led FBS in total defense, but their total yardage allowed on a per game basis was the best for any FBS team in a decade. He is a 10-year NFL veteran who played for Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints in the 2013 offseason and preseason. The Saints then released him, and he went on to sign with the Buffalo Bills. Yesterday was the Super Bowl, and man, am I exhausted today, but it was a good game. And I think that's what we all wanted, with the fact that, of course, if you're a Broncos fan, you probably aren't thrilled that the Kansas City Chiefs walked away with a victory. Patrick Mahomes was named the Super Bowl MVP. It's the 2nd Super Bowl title in a row for the Chiefs and the 3rd in the past 5 years. Mahomes has won MVP honors in all 3 of those title wins. He is now tied with Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Montana for the 2nd most Super Bowl MVP awards, 2 behind Tom Brady. Is it official? Can we call the Chiefs a dynasty? We're going to be talking about that today on Coffee Break at 12 p.m. Make sure you come hang out with us then. The Chiefs are the NFL's first repeat champion since the 2003-2004 New England Patriots. There was a freaks accident on Sunday. 49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw suffered a torn left Achilles tendon. Dre Greenlaw is dealing with this as he literally, you guys, it was so weird. We come back from the break. If you did not get to see this, we come back from the break and he's like running out onto the field, and all of a sudden he just falls to the ground. Everybody's kind of confused in what it is. He's obviously very emotional, and Kyle Shanahan confirmed after the game that Greenlaw tore his Achilles tendon. Broke my heart. He started all 15 games he's played in this season and was the team's 2nd leading tackler. Another interesting thing that happened on the sidelines was Travis Kelce getting mad at Andy Reid. So frustrations boiled over on the Chiefs sideline in the second quarter, I told everybody I was really tired today. In the 2nd quarter of Super Bowl 58, Travis Kelce was seen screaming at head coach Andy Reid and bumping into him. Literally looked like he was about to push him to the ground. He appeared to be upset that Reid had not sent him into the game, and Kansas City Chiefs running back Jerick McKinnon pulled Kelce away from Reid in an attempt to defuse the situation. Kelce was later asked about the incident and said, "I'm going to keep it between us unless my mic'd up tells the world. I was just telling him how much I love him." Funny. I like that he kind of made a joke of it, and I would absolutely love to hear what Andy Reid would have to say about it. Kelce had a great game, leading all receivers with 93 yards on 9 catches. He was relatively quiet in the first half, but came back and essentially helped them win the Super Bowl. He is the 3rd player to lead 3 Super Bowl champions in receiving yards. And in his post-game speech, Kelce hinted that he will not be retiring, although many did say so, and said, "I'll see you next year." Fascinating, too, with the overtime rules. This was a new year with some OT rules. 49er players did not know the new overtime rules. It was the 2nd of 58 Super Bowls to be tied after regulation, and the first played under the new overtime rules, which allows both teams to get the ball. In previous times, it was if you were able to score first or get a touchdown for your first possession, essentially, then you could end up going on to win the game. They obviously changed that rule, so now both teams had an opportunity to possess the ball unless there was a defensive safety or touchdown, essentially. Kyle Shanahan said he had discussed it with his analytical staff, but not his players. And a lot of players had gone on to talk about it, obviously, in the post-game reaction, said, "I didn't even realize the playoff rules were different in overtime. I assumed you just want the ball to score a touchdown and win. But I guess that's not the case. I don't totally know the strategy there. We hadn't talked about it. No." Interesting. Also interesting that President Biden is congratulating the Chiefs. Now, that's not shocking. However, he did say that he can't wait to have them back out to the White House. And all I can think about is saying, President Biden, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Denver Nuggets still have not gone out there to the White House. So are we going to get them out there before the Chiefs? I highly doubt it, but you never know. Of course, he posted on the official Twitter account, or X account, as many of us call it, and posted a congratulatory video with the team's last Super Bowl visit to the White House, and said with their 3rd Super Bowl win in just 5 seasons, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't just champions today, they're a dynasty. Congratulations, Chiefs Kingdom, ready to welcome this team back to the White House. Now, the Jets, they kind of dropped a little bit of a bomb last night saying, hey, we're getting some new uniforms just a minute after the Kansas City Chiefs won their second straight Super Bowl. Essentially, the Jets announced that their legacy jerseys that debuted last season will become their permanent jerseys going forward. The Jets wore white legacy jerseys in 2 games last season. Along with those jerseys, the Jets will introduce green and black editions as well, and they will be unveiled in April. Denver Nuggets, they're back at it tonight after coming off of a bad loss against the Sacramento Kings on Friday night. The first one that MPJ had missed all season. They play the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. You can see that game at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, golf. Let's talk golf. It's not very often here on Denver Sports Daily or even on Coffee Break that we talk about golf, but the Waste Management got a little unhinged over their weekend. There were plenty of incidents that were shown all over social media that include fighting, people rolling around in wet grass, people trying to jump in the lake. I don't know how many countless videos I saw, but a lot of them seem to be alcohol-related incidents. And on Saturday, tournament officials briefly stopped alcohol sales at several locations, hoping to slow down the party. I know a bunch of people that actually travel out every single year to go to the Waste Management Classic because it feels like such a giant party. The weather is beautiful. It was like 60 degrees out there in Scottsdale. And it's always been known as a party golf tournament, essentially. I feel like that's just one of those things. We know Augusta to be this beautiful classic tournament, and the Waste Management Classic is known for being an absolute party. They also, officials briefly turned away ticket holders around 2 p.m. on Saturday because it was just too crowded. There was so much going on with it. You can see, like I mentioned earlier, a bunch of social media videos of so many, but also the golfers got really frustrated. There was multiple occasions that we saw golfers that were yelling at the crowd, telling them to shut up, essentially, or to not yell at them right as they were about to hit the ball. I feel like that's common courtesy when you go onto a golf course. But essentially, golfers were really frustrated by the whole situation. I'm going to be fascinated to see if maybe some people decide not to do the Waste Management Classic in like next year or whenever going to be the next time, how that's going to work out, or if they're going to take away alcohol sales, even though I feel like that generates a majority of the money that they get. So always interesting. Of course, the Super Bowl. What a blast it always is, you guys. Want to check out just a few of your comments on here? Let's see. What happened to our other backs coach? I see this. If you did not know this, our backs coach essentially had gone to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's being reunited with Vic Fangio. His name is blanking me right now at this exact moment. But yes, that is essentially what happened to the backs coach. So that is why they are bringing in somebody new. And the game was rigged. I was wondering how many times we were going to see this comment. Richard Carney and I are going to talk about this on Coffee Break here in just a little bit. Was this game rigged? Is the NFL scripted? I feel like this is a story that just never, ever gets old. And of course, now with Taylor Swift and everything in that nature, everybody is starting to talk about it. So plenty of good stuff. Come hang out with us at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. Again, Richie and I are going to be going over everything about the Super Bowl. Is it rigged? The debrief, Travis Kelce, how that all looks. So come hang out with us, and we will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Denver Sports Daily. Have a wonderful Monday, everybody. Get back to work.